What is going on, everyone? Welcome to this episode of Somewhat Supernatural, like totally impromptu episode of Somewhat Supernatural. I'm your host with the ghost, the prince of the paranormal, the duke of the dead, the sinister minister, the one, the only Lord Scuba Cabra. How you guys doing on this fabulous Sunday? I was sitting at home and I was like, you know what? I have not done an episode of Somewhat Supernatural in so long, and I wanted to get on and I just wanted to shoot the shit and talk about ghosts. So that's what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about ghosts and ghost stories, and I have a few guests that I'm gonna be bringing on to tell their ghost stories. Just to give you guys a little bit of catching up, if you have not been following me on my other podcasts, Gore and More and the Recycled Corn podcast, I've just been living life, man, and I have a baby on the way. My baby will be here May 13th. And so that's what I've been doing. I've just been doing the whole dad thing, still doing the paranormal thing, going on the fun ass ghost adventures with my team, the Ghost Vatos, Dark Side Paranormal. Um, that's really it, man. And every Monday we do Gore and More, and I'm on there with the boys, and we're just having a blast living life. What's up, Brody Kane? How's it going, buddy? So I'm gonna go ahead and bring on my first guest and let her introduce herself. Oh, mid smoke, mid puff, mid
Hi.
puff.
Hey, at least it's only cigarettes.
Hey,
My name's Magnolia. I am actually from Iowa, so I'm way up north from you guys. But I live in a home that is currently 102 years old. And from day one we've moved in, we've had experiences. So
yeah, and I know you.
You know my boyfriend Ben.
Mm-hmm. Of course. I mean, and I know you too. I've met you, when you guys lived here in Corpus.
But I met you through Ben, so that was pretty cool when I moved down there.
Yeah. So, you said you have some stories or some hauntings that have occurred, some things like that.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about ghosts. Now, everybody knows what a ghost is. I shouldn't have to give you a definition on what a ghost is. A ghost is a spirit of a human or an animal. We think. We don't know for sure, but that's what we'd like to think. There are other entities out there, but ghosts primarily are human spirits that have not moved on. I mean, they've left this world, but they have not moved on the other side, or maybe they have, and that's what's waiting for us when we're not here, And right. I've talked about my experiences on here till I'm blue in the face, because I have experienced a lot of shit my entire life, and it's just something that's always interested me. I mean, I used to terrify me as a kid, but now that I'm an adult, it's like, man, that's why I do the paranormal investigating, because it's like, well, fuck it, shit happens. If can't hurt me, in theory it can't hurt me, but who knows, but yeah. So what are some of the things that
take the proper precautions?
Yeah, and sometimes I forget to do that. Like, we went to Yorktown Memorial Hospital 2 weeks ago, and I totally didn't cleanse, didn't do nothing, and I was like super paranoid. And we've been experiencing little things here and there. Like, my girlfriend was like, something sat on my bed, and I'm like, oh shit, we need to cleanse your apartment, because that's probably something that I brought. We thought about using her as kind of a trigger object, because we she's pregnant right now. We just wanted to see what kind of like activity would happen around a pregnant woman, and she's totally down to do it. It's just finding the right place where she's not going to get hurt and the baby's not going to get hurt and shit like that. So
where it's going to have that level experience, but it's not going to be something that's going to be a negative effect. Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Exactly. So what are some of the things that you've experienced? Have you experienced things like your whole life, or is it just since you moved into that house?
I have grown up in a family, like I grew up strictly Catholic, but my grandmother, when I was very, very little, she taught me to talk to angels, talk to the fae, how to make fairy houses. Her chicken noodle soup for 4 people, if you make the recipe exactly, I need 97 other people to be able to eat that. Oh, so shit. She has taught me all kinds of magic my whole life. Yeah. Yeah. I practice eclectic Wicca. So I do believe in there is the balance between good and evil, but I tend to live in the chaos theory. If it happens, it happens, and somehow I manage to deal with it.
Yeah.
So there's actually a room in my house that is dedicated to my witchy practices.
Okay.
It's upstairs, and there have been times that I've gone in there and I know I haven't been in there all day. I'll walk in and certain things that I have are turned on, and you
Yeah.
have to physically turn these items. So it's like, okay, whatever's messing with us. The first year that we moved into the house, we figured it was the 100-year anniversary. The house was just having like a party, which totally fine. You know, it's been 100 years. You've sustained this long. Why not have a party? We would hear glasses clinking, people talking all the time. We'll hear footsteps upstairs in the attic. We've heard footsteps downstairs. Here in the basement where I'm currently at, this light turns on all the time without us being down here. One of the scariest things though was I was sitting upstairs one night and I was doing something on my little desk area, and he was over directly across the room from me watching TV, and he was just sitting in the chair. And I look over to say something to him, and you know how he has his long braid all the time.
Yeah.
You saw that down in Corpus. He still has that. I watched it go from the right side of his body, get picked up and moved around to the left side. And he looks at me and he's like, "You saw that, right?" Yeah. I need to do some stuff.
Yeah.
But even in the house that we lived in, Marion, he would see somebody standing in the hallway. So we've both seen stuff our whole life. And it's super creepy. Like Christmas Day, I went to go visit my mom. We went up there, we did our whole Christmas thing. And then right as we come back in the house, our attic door has stuff in front. So neither one of us like going up into the attic. We get this really super creepy feeling up there. So we keep stuff in front of the door. Plus, we don't want the cats getting up there, getting into the ceilings, getting lost or anything. Well, we walk in and we see the stuff move and the door open and then shut. And I'm like, okay, thanks for welcoming us home, but don't do that again.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time. We see that stuff all the time. We hear stuff all the time. So we've just kind of learned to live with it.
Yeah. But it's not anything
up
that
and down. He's an empath. He needs to open himself up.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
But it's not anything
No,
that
it's
seems
nothing
like
malicious
harmful.
here. He's had some bad dreams and everything, but a lot of it is just, I think, memories of this place. We can't find any record of any like domestic violence issues or anything. I've looked into it, but as you know, a lot of that doesn't get reported.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there could be a lot of those just residual memories, and us being a male and female couple that occasionally argues, those things could surface.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I moved into this house, I didn't initially feel anything here. You know, I don't like to say that I'm an empath because I feel dumb saying that, but I am. But I just kind of block everything out for the most part, or I try to anyways. I've gotten really good at just kind of ignoring everything. And
He does that too.
It took me a long time to fucking learn how to do that, especially when it came to like people's feelings. Like I could feel people's feelings like in a huge crowd. It drove me wild. Like I hated that shit. So it took me a long time, but I've kind of blocked myself
and I'm
off.
the same way too.
Yeah. So my kids though, they've had experiences in the house, and I'm just like, just fucking ignore it. Like that's the best thing until you just fucking ignore it. So my oldest son, he's the one that sees more things than myself or my daughter, like physical embodiments. I can sense things, but I really don't see things anymore since I was a kid. When I was a kid, I used to see things all the time. Now it's more of just like a feeling that I get when I walk into a building or you know, we go on these investigations. Like I get this like antsy feeling in my stomach, and the hairs on the back of my neck will stand up. You know, all that cliche shit that they say happens fucking happens.
Right. But I mean, it's cliche for a reason, because it's been proven over and over again that it's something that happens when you experience those spirits.
Yeah.
You know, I've
So,
never done any kind of investigation on the level that you've done, but being around it my whole life, like the house that I grew up in, I saw a, you know, I live in the Midwest, so I saw a giant Indian figure walk through my room one night in the basement.
oh shit.
And I've seen that kind of stuff all the time. But oh, there's one, he'll tell you there's a place where he used to live that he will not ever go into the Morton building that's there because of the big Indian. It's about 7 foot tall. And just the feeling you get from this guy is pure rage. I want to kill you. Get the fuck out of here. I'm going to make your life horrible.
Well, yeah,
His
I mean,
mom's seen it. His grandpa's
it's
seen it. He's seen it.
it's understandable that a Native American spirit would
Yeah.
have, you know, something like that
The
because of
rage.
the rage, you know? I mean, and it's totally understandable with and I think yet we haven't really encountered anything of that nature yet on the investigations that we've gone on. But you know, when you do
Mm-hmm.
see that kind of stuff or those kind of hauntings, I mean, it's for a fucking reason. You know, these people went through some of the most horrible shit
Right.
ever. And so it's totally
They went
understandable
through
to get that
hell.
sense. Yeah, yeah. But like I was saying, my son,
Mm-hmm.
um, he he's heard stuff. He heard an old man and a little kid talking in his room. And I was like, "Are you sure it
Oh,
wasn't outside?" He's like, "No, dad." He's like, "It was like right next to my bed." He's like, "I heard the
right
little
here.
kids." He heard the little kids say hi. Oh, I just got goosebumps. He heard the little kid say hi, and then
Oop.
he heard the old man go hush. Like the older ghost was telling the little kid ghost like, "Stop! Don't make like don't let anybody know that we're here."
Like, don't let them
So
know we're here.
yeah, and then another
Oh, I
time
just got goosebumps from that now too.
he was walking out of his bedroom and he said he saw this huge orb just fucking float down like right in front of him and then it dissipated. And he was like, he called or he texted me, he's like, "Dad." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Can you physically see orbs with your eyes?" And I'm like, "Well, not everybody can, but some people can." He's like, "I just saw a fucking orb flow right in front of me and fucking disappear." He's like, "I think I'm schizophrenic." I'm like, "No, you're not schizophrenic. There's nothing
No,
wrong with
no,
you,
dude,
kid.
no, you're
Like
not. I
this
promise.
shit, like this shit happens, bro." So he's I don't
Yeah.
know what other things he's experienced, but those are the two that stick out in my mind. And now my daughter is the kind of girl that's not scared of shit. She does not give a fuck. She's not scared of anything. This little girl is, "Hi, baby." My girlfriend's in the chat. How you doing, honey? So my daughter is one of the bravest motherfuckers I've known. She's got more balls than I do. So she's in her room. She's hanging up her laundry. She puts her laundry in her closet, and her door kind of sticks. So she has to, you know, kind of push it
Mhm.
in. So she's like,
Kind of wiggle.
she, she comes to my room and she's like, "Dad." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "My fucking closet door just opened by itself." And I'm like, what do you mean it opened by itself?" She's like, "I was hanging up my clothes. I closed the fucking door and then I heard it open and it was wide the fuck open." So I'm like, "Okay, well, let me go in your room. Let me go look." So I walk in her
Oh
room
God.
and I close her closet door. And of course, it sticks. So I have to push it in really hard. And I kind of, you have to yank it
Mm-hmm.
to open it. Like you have to have some force behind you to open it. It doesn't just fucking swing open by itself. And I was like, well, maybe because she has an
Yeah.
AC vent, one of the intake vents is in her room. So I was like, maybe the AC kicked on and the suction pulled the door open.
And it,
Let me sit in here
yeah,
and check. So I sat in there for a little bit, waited, and I kind of had the door closed. Like I just had it like really on the edge, you know, to where it could swing open if there was any
closed but
pressure.
not closed.
Exactly. So the AC
Yeah.
kicks on, nothing. Fucking nothing.
Nothing.
So we have another guest that I'm going to bring on right now. This is Jesse, aka Thabos. Thabos, what's going on, buddy?
What's up? What's up?
I can't see you. Where's your beautiful face? Oh, there you
Oh
are.
crap! Oh, that's the wrong way. Ooh, how do I turn this camera?
Woo!
I'm at work right now, so.
Oh, damn. So we're just talking. We're talking ghosts right now, man. So I mean, if you can't bring your camera on, that's cool, bro. We can hear you. We hear you loud and clear. So,
Sweet.
um, so basically, we're talking about ghosts, man. And I know you said you had a ghost story from the hospital. Give it to us, man.
So basically, whenever I first started working at the hospital, whenever I was clocking off for one of my shifts, It sounded like we heard some like electrical wiring going off because usually at the hospital there's constant like construction to like add stuff and all that.
Yeah.
And the door was open to like the electrical room,
Hmm.
and we thought like it was a wire that was like going off or something, but it was like the window flaps or whatever the heck it's called. Those were
Mhm.
just flapping like constantly, like it was getting faster and faster. And then I was gonna get out my phone so I could like record it and like send it to my friend like, dude, look what's happening. And then it just stopped automatically. I was like, okay, this is a weird thing that happens.
Which hospital do you work at?
I work at Christus Spawn Shoreline. It's
Okay,
the
Shoreline.
hospital by the
Okay.
water.
So Shoreline, my dad passed away at that hospital, and so did my grandmother on my father's side, on my real dad's side.
Uh-huh.
She passed away there too. And there's been, I know there's weird shit that happened there because when we were there, man, I mean, and that hospital's pretty fucking old. You know what I mean? So
Oh
there's a
yeah.
lot, and people die there all the time. So hospitals have a lot of energy and a lot of different energy because, of course, most of the people that pass away like naturally or they're sometimes they get stuck there, so
Yeah.
you get that, but then there's assholes too that fucking died there because not everybody's a good person. So there's been bad people that fucking died there too,
Yeah.
and so there's all different kinds of energy at Memorial, man. When Memorial was open, that was one of the creepiest hospitals to go to, hands down. Like that place was just creepy as hell.
Damn. Can imagine
So
that.
So yeah, so working in a hospital, I assume that you've encountered like, some unexplainable things other than that.
Oh yeah, like some other stuff. Whenever it comes like with light switches and all that, like I'll be, of course, we gotta turn them off or turn them on, however the patients want it and all that. But they just be coming on all by themselves, and especially with the TVs, I know like sometimes like they'll be old, they'll turn off and all that, but it just varies, man. Like patients tell me like they have experiences too, like in their room and all that. So I'm like,
Oh
okay, that's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. And that's why I'm kind of glad I've
Oh,
never had to
definitely.
stay in a hospital because I feel like I get shit drawn to me no matter where the fuck I go.
Uh-huh.
And so, especially being in a hospital, like if I were to have to stay in a hospital overnight, I don't think I'd be able to sleep. Like, because sometimes the shit gets loud, man. Like, and it's fucking crazy. Like, and it's hard to explain, especially if you don't know what I'm talking about or you've never experienced the kind of stuff that like I'm talking about. Like, it's just
Hmm.
weird, man. Like, you go into a building and then you just feel like this just weird, like you just get like ansias in your stomach and you're like, what the fuck, man? And
Yeah.
I remember when I was little, I used to like when I would go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, especially at my grandma's house. The hairs on the back of my neck would always fucking stand up. Like it never failed. Even now to this day, sometimes I'll go and the hair in the back of my neck stands up, and I'm like, okay, who's fucking here in the bathroom with me? Like, get the hell out! I'm trying to take a leak.
Hmm.
But
Uh-huh.
so how long have you
Like,
been
just
working
give
there?
me 30 seconds of
Oh,
privacy.
Yeah,
I've been
exactly.
over there for about a year, a couple months. So far, like I'm encountering some stuff, and then like over here at the theater, then that's a different story. We know the movie theater is haunted.
Which theater are you at?
Uh, it used to be called Starplex, but now we're
Okay,
AMC.
AMC. Okay, so yeah, so that's where that guy was murdered out. You're young as hell, so you were probably hell. You might not have even been born yet, but there was
I
a
think I wasn't
murder.
existed yet.
There was a murder that occurred outside in the parking lot there
Yeah,
at Starplex. Some dude got shot by these kids there. So I know that people have reported that they see a guy just kind of walking around aimlessly in the parking lot sometimes, like
yeah,
in the middle of the night. Now, could it be a homeless dude? Yeah, it could be a homeless dude. But every time somebody reports it, the guy's wearing the same shit and it doesn't look like a homeless guy.
yeah.
So, but what have you experienced at the theater?
So with like I've been over here for about 5 years, and with like past faces I've seen come and go, we've seen and encountered some stuff. Like you'll see like a little girl in the restroom, you'll hear someone laughing. I remember one time like where the podium's at, where we give our tickets, they tell us where to go. Me and my manager, we were cleaning up, sweeping up the floor, and he looked down at the ground because we saw footsteps appear, and it was
Mhm.
just we didn't have no mud on our shoes or anything, but there was clearly footsteps walking towards the restroom. I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. It was just we just cleaned it right now.
Wow.
And like you hear a bunch of loud noises too, especially your eyes love to play tricks here since you know how they have the theater all dim. I
Yeah.
know in one of the auditoriums, you could definitely see a shadow in there. I forgot what number, but I know you could definitely see someone.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is about theaters because I know the theater, the old dollar cinema, that used to be haunted too. There was a little girl that used to haunt the dollar cinema in Sunrise Mall.
Uh huh.
Um but and I had multiple people like a good buddy of mine, James. He worked there when he was in high school, and that's when he was in high school, I was in like fucking elementary. So when he was at that theater, he even back then he would say that they would see like a little girl running from theater to theater, and there was
Yeah.
fucking nobody there. Like it was in the middle of the night, they were already closed, and they would see a little girl fucking run from one theater to the other.
Damn.
And that's always been a place I want to investigate. And we're actually, I know we were talking about inquiring um over who owns the Sunrise Mall now, because especially since that guy got murdered in the fucking bathroom downstairs. Like there was a guy that got his throat slit and fucking died in the bathroom downstairs. Like there's actual like reports of people fucking dying there. um we really want to get in that building and see if they'll let us investigate. And I know people break in all the time, but we like to do things legally because we don't want to put a bad stigma on our name.
Yeah.
So, because everybody's like, oh, why haven't y'all done the courthouse yet? And it's like, well, we could, but we don't have permission to go in there. And if you get caught, it's a fucking felony. And I'm 40 years old. I ain't trying to get my first felony at 40. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is there anything else you've experienced there at the theater?
Honestly, recently no, but just those are just some stories that I have, especially like that one at the hospital too. Those are just some of the stuff I have. And I
Yeah.
remember when I was younger, um so like I don't know if it's me or if anyone else, like of course you know how like when we're little kids you have like an imaginary friend and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my yaya,
Mm.
which is my grandma,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
apparently like she would tell me that I used to play with a ghost when I was little, and I had this little blue ball, and that's how I would communicate with him because I would push it and the ball would come rolling back to me. This happens all at my house that I still live at,
Wow.
and yeah, like my grandma, she had threw away that ball because I remember, well, actually, she had told me that I was pushed to the ground and like I got like scratches on me or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I was like a what 4 or 5. And she was all telling me this. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on.
See, and I feel like, well, I mean, and it's well known that when you are a kid, things are drawn to you even more, and you're able to see more, and more things happen to you as a kid because you're innocent. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I know for me, I can really like I said, I always saw stuff as a kid and things would happen and I would just feel everything. Like it was fucking weird, man. And
Mhm.
then literally from one day to the next, everything stopped. Like I didn't see things anymore. My brother and my sister would still see shit, and they'd be like, "Look, there's a little boy looking in the doorway." And I would look, and I didn't see anything, but they
Yeah.
were still actively fucking seeing shit that wasn't
Mhm.
there, and they weren't making it up. I know because I had seen similar things, before they did. So
Mhm.
well, let me see. We have Jojo here also. Oh damn, he just threw shots at you, Thabos. He
Oh,
said he's the all content king. Let's see. Jojo.
okay.
Jojo. Oh, he's in the red right now. We're gonna wait for his internet to kick back on. But I do have another guest. How come you didn't why are you not on your computer? We cannot see you. It is grainy as hell, honey.
Because he's on my computer.
Get off the computer and let your mom get on the computer.
It's okay. Turn on that camera though. With that light. The light on top. No, baby.
Let me get
Okay,
Jojo
hold
on,
on.
too. We just have a whole cluster going on right now. I love this shit.
I love how I'm doing this at work.
Is this better?
No, you need to be on your damn computer with your headset looking all professional.
I'm sorry, it's being used.
For shame. And you're a streamer. You know how this shit works. For shame, honey. For shame. Anyway, so those of you that don't know, this is my girlfriend Melody, aka the Smiling Octopus on Twitch. So I did touch base a little bit on what you said happened with the bed, like if somebody sat on your bed, but do you want to elaborate a little more? Because I wasn't there, I just heard what you said.
Oh my goodness, no. Okay, so right now, this is crazy. Sonia messaged. Sonia is my best friend. She's my roommate. So she was like, she called me. She's like, "Hey, are you feeling okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." Her lights in her room have been changing color, and
Yes.
she did like blue and red. So she thinks blue is me and red is her. So she's like, "Can you?" I'm like, "I'm on my way. I'm here. Let me go." So I went over, and this ugly feeling, like, just stormed. It was so ugly, but it wasn't anything that we're used to. It wasn't anyone that we know, or you know what I mean. Like, it wasn't from us. And baby, I love you,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's you. Like, I feel like something is that was for you is here.
Yeah.
So it's ugly. So I was fucking with it, but not really. But I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna slap your hand. Like, you need to stop this. Like, this ugly feeling." And it stopped for a little bit. She's like, "Oh, it didn't like you slapping his hand. Like, it didn't like you saying that." So I went further. I'm gonna double slap it. Blah blah blah. You know, like, stop it. It's not cool. Don't fuck with people. And shortly after, I started to get dizzy. Like, the room was going in and out. This wasn't my feeling. This has nothing to do with me being sick. But I was like, "Ooh, I don't like that. I'm feeling lightheaded." I'm like, "This is not us. This is what we know."
What time was this at?
This was like not even 10 minutes ago.
Okay, so I have the cabinet open right now. I opened the cabinet.
Oh, fuck.
So I'm not saying that it has anything to do with that, but I do have the cabinet open. Now, for those of you that don't know, I do have a cabinet right here that has items from investigations that I've gone on. I have dolls in there from Louisiana. They came from a plantation home that was over 100 years old. These dolls are really old. I do have another rag. It's not a Raggedy Ann doll, but it's like a rag doll that was given to me that kind of gives off creepy vibes as well. There's just all different kinds of things in there. I do have holy water in there. I have rosaries in there. The cabinet's blessed. So usually I have it closed, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to open it for this podcast. Maybe something will happen. Maybe we'll see the curtain move, or maybe we'll see some, crazy shit happen. So I don't know if the two are related or not, but I know you have experienced other things at the apartment before that. Honey, are you muted? She's muted. Okay, so we have another guest we're going to bring on right now. This is my buddy Renee. How's it going, Papa?
Good. What's going on, brother?
Not much. How you been?
Good.
Don't worry about it. It's about ghosts. He opened his cabinet 10 minutes before. Same time.
Hey, let me mute her real quick. So Renee said he has some stories he needs to tell. So what you got for us, brother?
All right, man. So there was one day. It was on regular day, and
Uh-huh.
It was him.
I took my kids to school. Everything was all good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was in my studio with some guitars, and then on my door with the studio held up by it was held up like a brick or a rock. It was always so. One day I'm sitting there minding my business, and all of a sudden I turn, the door's closing by itself.
Mm-hmm.
The rock didn't move, it slid over. The door just started closing.
But we're muted. What happened?
And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I opened the door again, left it there, continued doing my duty. About an hour later, it did it again. And I was like, what the hell is going on, dudes? And then I look again and look around the corner, a black shadow, like leave from. I was like, what the hell, dude? It freaked me the hell out. And then it kept happening. The same damn thing, the same way. I didn't
That's fucking
understand it,
crazy.
and the rock never moved. The door would
Wow.
just. I didn't understand it, dude, and then it stopped, and I was like, "All right, um, how do you understand it?" And then it started again. So I freaked the hell out, and I took the damn.
That's fucking
I,
crazy.
I would too.
Especially seeing that shadow, you know what I mean? And I've known you for fucking years, bro. You're not the kind of guy that fucking gets spooked over shit
Dude, I
easily.
was tripping, dude. I was like, "Nah, dude, I'm taking this motherfucker off, dude."
Wow.
There was another one where I had a good friend of mine, Biggie, and we were tracking vocals,
I just
and
want to see if
I
you
was,
like.
I oh, and I was we were also we attract today, we're a lot of uh the files, and there was one that just kind of paused, and you heard like a faint, like, or it was a woman. I couldn't make it out.
Yeah.
And then later on, I went through I think I went through like 17 files. Oh, dude. I mean, it was almost as clear as day. It said hello, and like I said, hello. Do you
Wow.
remember me?
Holy shit.
And I was like, what? What? I and it was so the house that we have, and I mean, before we moved here, there was like 14 people that were living here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if someone had passed away in here or anything like that. It just freaked me hell out. And like an older lady, it sounded like it was. I say, but it was like you felt, you heard the pain inside that, and you just felt it, and it was a trip, dude. And I like I'm never recording in the damn room again. Period.
Yeah.
It was weird. And the last one, I'm sorry to take you outside, but the last
Nah, you're
one,
good, man. That's why you're here.
yeah. So this last one, and this is probably one of my eeriest 3 years ago, and I just lost one of my best friends, and it's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're dead asleep. All of a sudden, I like something hit our side of our house, and it was so damn loud. Jumped up immediately, ran outside to see what was going on. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see. I don't understand it. It was
Yeah.
one of those things, and then went back to sleep. Happened again, but this time it was sounded like it came from the inside of the house,
Oh shit.
Mm.
and it wasn't like like no, people say, oh, if you heard like 3 knocks or whatever else,
Yeah.
it was just a loud bang. It was like I can't even describe it, dude. It was just like it was just real freaking loud. I was like, all right,
Like a solid hit.
yeah, like it was something like if how can I describe it? It was kind of like a but it had more um a violent hit,
Yeah.
but louder, like
Yeah,
super
Yeah.
loud.
I've had something like that happen. Like I woke up in the dead of the night one night because I heard something hit my bedroom window so hard I thought it was like cracking the glass, and there was nothing there. So
Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah. It so the next day, it kind of like it didn't happen again, but like it was about, and I was already kind of waking up because it was a school day, and I was getting, I had lost the sleep in my eyes, and usually on the curtain where I sleep on the side of my bed, and you can kind of still see the sunlight come through, through all that. Wow, and it was really fucking cold in our room. Excuse my language. It was really cold in our cold, and the AC was set to like maybe 65. We had the fact, but it felt like it was at least 30 or less. I mean, it felt. I wake up and I kind of sit up and just kind of look around, and you would see the bathroom door because it's white, and
Yeah.
all you saw, like something was blocking it.
Yeah. Damn.
And I stood there, kind of stood up, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And I grabbed my flashlight on, but then it kind of like it was roaming. It was kind of like roaming around the room because like when you feel like a presence, you're like that one side wherever it's at there. So this was kind of like that. It was moving. It was kind of like moving around the room. It was shifting,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to the restroom, and I was kind of like maybe it was just. So I walked back into the room, and I have on my speakers. And I left the lights on for some reason that day. Well, they were all like it was like you couldn't even. I couldn't even see my hand in front of me. Cold, but the space didn't feel. It didn't feel like violent,
Yeah.
threatening. It just felt heavy, like like a. And I just never, I never kind of put it together. And I talked to my friend, my best friend's mom, and she had there, and I was like, she's like, well, maybe you think he's visiting, and I was like, I don't know, man, but he just freaking the hell freaking me out.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts,
you
bro.
know, but it was like it felt sad,
Yeah.
you know, like, and that was just one of the weirdest, a couple of the weirdest things that I mean, I've learned that, but those are the three that really shook
Stick
the hell
out.
out of me, and
Yeah.
and it was just like just a sad, heavy presence, dude. And I was maybe that was him. Maybe he was just kind of like his way of saying he was sorry, or I just didn't know what the hell it was, and um, I couldn't get over that.
Yeah.
I felt nothing but just sad what was going on,
Yeah.
And the weird thing is that they never had his wake. When they buried him, they did it by themselves. They didn't, and it was kind of like maybe he just didn't want to go out that way. One of
Yeah.
those things,
Yeah.
and those are the three that really just kind of hit me, and to this day, besides this one, the other two were just kind of like they're just weird, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, dude, that's just a trip and a half. So I appreciate
So
you
I
having me
know,
on, man.
hell yeah, man. I appreciate you telling me those stories, man. And I know, like, I've told this one before. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever watched the show before, but I had an experience, after my dad passed away. He was sick for a long time, and so he would always joke about how he would let me know that there was something on the other side. And when he passed away, I never got like a sign from him. I never got anything. And my sister would always be like, "Oh, I can feel my dad's presence. I smell his cologne. I see this like sparkly shit out the corner of my eye. I know it's my dad. Like I feel this calmness, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Well, what the fuck? Like you weren't even close to dad the way I was, and if he is showing himself to you, like what the fuck?"
Yeah,
And so
it
one night when I was with my ex, she's laying down. She has one arm under her head and the other arm's like on her side, and she's laying on her side. And so I lean over and I put my arm around her, and I feel a hand grab my hand, just softly
oh
fucking grab my hand.
shit.
And in an instant, it's like time froze and all these thoughts ran in my head, but it was just a split second that it happened. But I remember, dude, I'm getting chills on my legs right now. I remember feeling the roughness in the hand, and it was bigger than my hand. And I know my dad's hands, you know what I mean? And so I felt the fucking I felt my dad grab my hand. And so I fucking sit up and I look, and of course there's nobody there. And she didn't move. Her arm was still under her head and her other arm was still at her side. So I know it wasn't her. And I fucking pushed her and I was like, Dad was here. She's like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? Like, my dad was just here. Like, he grabbed my hand. And at that point, I had this calmness in me, because I was really, and this was a few months after he had passed away. And so I was like, okay, that was my sign. That was my, hey, kiddo, like, there's something, you know what I mean? And so that was another big factor in me wanting to do the paranormal investigations, because it's like, cool, maybe there's a way that we can fucking make contact that nobody else has ever made contact, and we can actually get some solid fucking proof. Now, we do joke around a lot on these investigations because a lot of them aren't personal to us. They don't really have any bearing on our life, you know. But we have one coming up that I feel is going to affect me specifically. So the bar that I work at, Molly's, is haunted. And it
I
was
could have
haunted
told
before.
you that a while back.
It was haunted. It was haunted before Donnie passed away, and Donnie was the previous owner. But now we feel his presence there. Things have happened. We can smell cigarette smoke when nobody's around, smoking cigarettes, and he used to be inside the bar fucking smoking cigarettes and shit.
Mhm.
Things have fucking, moved. Like there's a video that they sent me from the back office where this box that was tucked away behind the fucking microwave that we have on top of the fridge, the box literally fucking flew off the fucking shelf. Nobody was in that fucking room. They just caught it on camera because of the office camera. But also there was a death there. There was a girl that got shot there and she died there at Molly's. So that was a murder that I fucking experienced. So that's why I feel that once
I
we do get
remember
the
that.
go ahead, once we do get the go ahead to do this investigation, I told the guys, I was like, like I want to take this one a little bit more serious. I don't want us taunting anything that's there, because this one's going to be super personal for me, especially if Donnie's there, man, because Donnie was a father figure to me, and we go and we're disrespectful as fuck sometimes when we go to places and we're talking all this kinds of shit, but because I saw this girl die there, I don't want to do that if her spirit is still kind of there,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
definitely.
I'm just waiting on that go ahead, and then of course we'll live stream like we do every fucking investigation and stuff. But yeah. So, honey, what's going on? I heard I muted you because Sonia was really fucking loud and talking over Renee. She's loud as shit, that little Puerto Rican. So what's going on? I can't hear you. Go to settings down at the bottom, the little gear. Honey, we can't hear you.
So, quick
Can you hear me
weird
now?
thing.
Oh yeah, your fucking mic
Okay.
wasn't. Okay,
Okay.
what's up, Magnolia?
Tell them what happened. It's our
Oh,
turn.
Hold on.
Okay.
It's
Hold
our
on.
turn.
Hi.
Hold on.
Wait, he
Go ahead,
said hold on.
Magnolia. Go ahead, Magnolia.
So, when she popped on, I immediately felt this need to pull out my gem oracle deck. And I was shuffling and a card popped out. And the first one that popped out was this card, Labradorite, for serendipity.
Isn't
Okay.
that a bluestone too, the Labradorite?
That is a
Right?
bluestone. Yes. So this card pops out just immediately. Like I'm shuffling and it falls out of the deck. So huge sign. This is one, serendipity. Obviously, there's a reason that happens. So I keep going. The next one that pulls out is kindred spirits, which has purple, part of blue tones.
Mel.
What?
Mel.
What?
I've been asking for purple.
You have
And I
not.
gave
I've
you
been
Continue.
asking for purple.
Sugarlight. Kindred
It's called
spirits.
Sugarlight. That's just
Oh,
funny.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
it's
That's
funny.
just funny.
This is the third card that pops out. Angel Aura Quartz in shades of blue. Communication. What have we been talking about? Communication with spirits.
Yes.
Okay.
And then finally, I do this thing on when I do readings, I pull a shadow card, which is something that brings everything together. Passion, garnet.
Red's mine.
So no fucking reason for me to pull these cards out, yet I do. And every single one of them correlates to something we've been talking about.
So did she
That's
tell you
crazy.
exactly how it happened and what happened?
No.
No.
I literally just told her that I pulled cards out, and because I was like, the second you popped on, it immediately felt the need for me to grab my cards, pull them out, and then all of this happened. And then
Good.
we've kind of been talking over text.
Good. I need that validation. Scooby-Doo,
Okay, yes.
right? This correlates to about the time you opened your goddamn fucking cabinet, just chilling. So I have string lights in my bedroom, and you can ask Scuba. Sometimes they'll just randomly flash a color. I like to keep them on white, kind of how you have yours, that white color.
Yeah.
I like, yep. But every now and then I will get a random flash of red, a random flash of blue. Sometimes it will just change to red. Red I associate with myself. Yep. It'll just change to red and it stays. And it's the creepiest shit in the world when I'm coming out of the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
But it never stays
terrifying.
on blue. It only ever flashes blue and it goes back. So about, when did I call you? 10:30? What did I say? 10:34? So maybe a minute or two before that, my lights only ever flashed once. And it went blue, white, blue, white. And it felt aggressive. And I just, like, for me, I feel it in my adrenaline. I feel it like a bout of anxiety. Didn't go away. Called her immediately because I was like, are you okay?
Right.
She was fine. She was here doing this. So didn't shake. Still hasn't shake. It's coming in waves. I'm getting anxious. I get the adrenaline and then it goes away. I had to have a conversation with my lights saying this is a privilege. And then I just turned off my string lights because didn't feel good.
I mean, if they're going to abuse that privilege to be able to communicate with you, then they don't need to have it.
Thank you. So just FYI, that's what happened.
Yeah, no. And it was just so weird because literally as soon as I saw her come on, it was like, nope, I need to pull these. It needs to happen. Yeah. So it wasn't anything like for you, Scuba, or for her, because there was a message though for you as well that both of you need to carry some more protection stones. Not necessarily for whatever is going on. There's something that's watching, but it's watching just a little bit too close for comfort, for me at least. So I would prefer that you guys carry something. And just for my own safety, let me know when you're doing investigations so I can light candles for you.
That would be appreciated.
I used to have all different kinds of protection and all different kinds of shit, but as we're on investigations and they're doing their job, they bust. And I just haven't gotten any more.
Please send me your fucking address. I will make you protection shit.
You know,
it's my fucking business.
All this, like how all
Could
this.
you send me a link to the business?
It's
definitely
weird.
I will.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, man. But I mean, that is for me. This is proof that there is something that is talking to everybody. She's in the fucking Midwest. We're here
I'm in
South
Iowa,
Texas.
19 hours away from you.
Yeah.
Like what?
Damn, boy.
Why would I have this connection unless for this specific reason?
See, and there was a reason.
Yeah.
I'm glad you commented on there and said, you know,
I'm
and
drunk
then you're like,
tonight.
but you're like, I've been drinking. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Okay,
like,
let's do it.
Hop on. Let's fucking do this shit. So I'm really glad that you fucking jumped on.
But at some point, Scooby-Doo, if you check your phone, it's literally just me yelling at you in like 2 text messages going, I need you to come cleanse this place, like for real.
Oh, I thought you said you need to cleanse your place. I was like, I ain't cleansing my place. Fuck all that.
Unless I typed it wrong in a hurry. Like
no, you said our place. Yeah. I can do that, you know. And I know we've been talking about me doing that for a long time now, but I feel like if I cleanse it, it's still gonna something's still always gonna be there because there's always shit fucking following me, you know. And
well, it's not just you though, because it's me as well.
I know.
Yeah, like it's always gonna be here.
It's always
but
something.
The aggression needs to go.
Yeah. So you can ask Mel. The other day we were fucking laying down and we heard like a bang on the door, and she looked at me and I said, "Just fucking ignore it. It's the dog. We'll just say it's the dog." And I blame everything on the dog. You know what I mean? It's the dog. It was so I was on about 3 weeks ago on Gore and More, right? And this is the same exact setup I do when I'm on Gore and More. So the curtain, my Ouija curtain that I have right here. Now, when I'm doing Gornmore, the dogs are out of the room. I don't let anybody in the room because I just want that good quality for our episode. When it's somewhat supernatural, I don't give a shit. The door's open, the dogs come in and out, whatever. But during Gornmore,
Currently trying to love
I
up.
just try to have it like a studio in here. This fucking curtain right here moves like if somebody fucking walked through it. And I don't say shit because I'm like this, blocking it, but I see it out the corner of my eye right here, and the curtain just fucking moves like if somebody walked through the fucking curtain. And I'm like, did I fucking throw the dog out? I don't remember if I threw the fucking dog out or not. So then the show's over, the boys are like, okay, bye. And I'm like, all right, talk to y'all later, boys. And I get off and I'm like, Toby. And he doesn't come, so I go and I move the curtain and there's nobody fucking there. My fucking door is closed and I'm like, all right, that was a good catch. I'm not going to say shit.
Done.
All right. Well, I'm going to pass back over to Mel so you guys can
Okay.
get back to it. I'm going to go have some very stern words with my string lights.
Tell it I'll be there.
Appreciate you pulling cards so much. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna go
Yeah,
teabag it if it
definitely.
doesn't
And
stop.
like, I don't care. I put my personal Facebook in the comments. So if you want to add me directly on that, and then I can invite you to Hazel's Hideaway, my business page, so that I can send you like protection stuff and all that stuff.
There you go,
Very
Ben.
much
Because so Lucky the Clown,
Bye, guys. Here you go.
Lucky the Clown, who is my buddy Ben, was inquiring how he could get a reading. So I guess he would like for you to do a reading for him. So
If he looks in the comment sections, just add me on my personal page because I have a Facebook group for Hazel's Hideaway where I post like tips and tricks for witchy stuff. And then I have my business page as well, which is under the same name, but it gets confusing sometimes.
Okay,
So
cool.
feel free to add me personally on Facebook. I don't give a fuck. I really don't.
Right on. Bounce out, man. But I appreciate you having me on, brother.
Hell yeah, brother. Thanks for being on, man. Appreciate you.
I'm out.
Later, bro.
See ya.
So that was super fucking interesting.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you let me join your shit.
So were you able to hear any of that?
No, but it was great on my side because I get to see all this movement. And I'm like, I wonder what's going on.
So basically, like she was saying before you gave the headphones to Sonia, she just started pulling cards, and all the cards correlate into the blue and the red.
Yeah.
And
So
Which
like
is
the
what's
first
happening
card that I pulled out, it's Labradorite, which is all shades of blue, and it's serendipity. When you popped on, that was immediately when I started grabbing the cards. And it fell out while I was shuffling, which is a huge indication of holy shit, this is something that needs to be read. And obviously being serendipity, it's like, okay, what's up? And then the next card that I pull is Sugarlight. Shit, I keep forgetting where it goes. But it's purples with shades of blue and kindred spirits.
Mm-hmm.
What are we all talking about? We're all people that are interested in the paranormal.
Yeah.
Then this is the one that I told you about, the Angel Aura Quartz.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, as you see, all shades of blue for communication. We're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's your red card, your garnet for passion. Oh, wow. You and Steven both have a giant passion for this. I have never seen two people that are more absolutely invested in finding the truth and finding it in a way that relates to everybody. You guys are phenomenal at what you do. And I would love someday to either be able to come down there or legitimately find a place for you guys up here to come visit. Hell, I'll babysit when you guys are.
Hell yeah.
You're welcome here anytime, rent free.
Okay, so another thing, like I was going to tell you this, Ben and I never told anybody. You know, when we moved down to Corpus a week before fucking Harvey hit, nobody told us we were moving into a hurricane. Nobody. Yeah. So we stay at the house in Flower Bluff. We're down there. We're watching shit. What'd you hear?
I just heard like I that was weird. It sounded like, I don't know if it was like coyotes, which I'm in the city.
Holy shit!
To close your car cabinet.
No fucking No, swear to God, we saw a fucking chupacabra. Okay, so Day's house in Flower Bluff. I don't know if you know who Day was, but she was from. Yeah, so we stayed at her house in Flower Bluff when we first moved down there. The hurricane happened. She had a fenced-in yard. We saw something hit the top of the fence on one side, hit mid-yard, jump the fucking fence, and head towards the ocean while Harvey was making landfall. What the fuck heads towards the ocean while a hurricane is making landfall?
What the fuck?
And you just heard coyotes?
That was weird. Yeah, I don't know if it was coyotes or somebody going, oh, but there's nobody here.
We saw a fucking chupacabra. We swear to God we saw a chupacabra.
Oh, I've seen one before. I've seen one in person, and fuck that shit.
I don't doubt that shit. It 6 foot into the yard and 6 foot out.
So you know Day's brother. Did you ever meet Day's brother, JT? Okay, so JT does or used to do paranormal shit before he became a paramedic. So he
sorry.
You're good. So he does the same, kind of paranormal thing that we do. So yeah, that's crazy. When I saw the chupacabra, I was a teenager still, and we smelled this really ugly fucking smell, and we opened this fucking shed, and we saw these two fucking eyes, and I will never forget, these sons of bitches were fucking huge, and they weren't cat eyes that glow yellow. They weren't fucking dog eyes that glow yellow with the light fucking hitting them. These sons of bitches were fucking red like this, and they were fucking huge. And it was me and my friend Steven, and we fucking looked at each other and we fucking screamed and we bolted. So then we went back like an hour later. We're like, fuck it, let's just go fucking see. Let's go see. Maybe we're just tripping, and there was like bikes or something that were fucking side by side, and it was the reflectors or something. There was nothing in there. That shed was completely fucking empty. It was fucking weird. Holy shit. But it was a chupacabra. I know it was a chupacabra.
Oh, yeah, no, it was.
And this last investigation that we went on, and Joe can attest to this, we heard, and I don't want to say the name, but the initials are SW.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're outside behind Yorktown Memorial Hospital. There's a helipad back there. So we're out there in this field, and we're fucking like just out there chilling and trying to make contact, see if anything's out there. And we hear this cow mooing off in the distance. And we're like, there's nothing but there's nothing but fucking forest back there. Yeah. Why is there a cow mooing? Now, there was a field next to us, but we could see the entire field, and there was no fucking cow in the field. So then we hear like a snarl come from the field, and we're like, well, that's fucking weird. Maybe it's a coyote or something. Something's about to fucking attack us, a fucking wild boar or some shit. Right. So then we hear this cow mooing, and I was all, let's go find the cow. So we start walking back there. And as we're getting closer and closer, the cow starts sounding farther and farther away. So we get to the tree line. Nothing. No more moos, no nothing. And we got this eerie feeling like if something was watching us hardcore. And while I'm on Facebook Live, I'm like, this feels like that scene in Jurassic Park where the raptors are surrounding the fucking guy, and he sees her and he's like, clever girl. Like, that's what it felt like.
Something is watching too close.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go back to the hospital. So we turn around, we start walking. And once we get about halfway, we hear that fucking moo again, but it sounds like it's right fucking behind us. So we're just like, nope. So we just keep on walking. Then we're walking the fence line, and it's mooing again, but we're hearing it like it's following us. Like it's not stationary. Like as we're walking and getting farther and farther away, it sounds like that moo is still fucking following us. Like it was fucking weird.
Like so just I was like, behind you.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that was probably an SW right there. Cause I usually say the name, but since I'm kind of freaked out right now, I'm not going to say it because
I would.
It's 11:39 at night. And
yeah, smart. Did you close your cabinet?
No, good idea.
I have not. The cabinet's still open.
Could you close that damn thing?
Oh my God. Give me a second. Y'all
Thank
talk
you.
amongst yourselves. Keep the show going, honey.
Okay. Well, close the damn thing.
So
My
speaking
gosh.
of like things that are weird out in the woods,
Mm-hmm.
I used to bow hunt. Growing up in the Midwest, I would hunt a lot of deer.
Yeah.
It was my thing. I went out one morning to go bow hunt before school because my school let us have a day off every year for bow hunting. We're that Midwest. Like we could have a shotgun in the back of the truck and nobody could call the cops.
Yeah.
So I go out one day to go bow hunting and I hear something come up behind me. So I draw my bow back and I look down and there's this feline figure
Mm-hmm.
and it just walks around and it's probably, I've never seen a cat this big. It's probably about 15 feet long without the tail and another 10 feet with the tail.
Yeah.
I finally let go of my bow and I come to my phone ringing. I've been missing for 6.5 hours with
Holy shit.
bow drawn back. No idea what happened. I'm not the only person that has seen that thing around the Midwest. It is a giant 25-foot long cat that when it walks through the woods, as it's walking, its fur changes color with the pattern of the trees and the light that's coming through. It doesn't
What the
just have, oh no, dude. Like I lost 6.5 hours as this thing was walking around a tree underneath me.
Holy shit.
Holy
And I'm
shit.
not the only person that's seen it. But we don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
It's just some big 25-foot long cat.
That's
Wow.
fucking crazy.
Well, I threw holy water all up in there and all along the area there and told whatever was out it needs to go back in. So we're good.
We greatly appreciate that on
Yeah.
this side.
Yeah.
Yes.
good.
Could
it
you
already feels
warn us
hard.
next time you're about to do some stupid shit?
You know, I figure my dogs will warn me if there's something for me to worry about.
Well, now
I mean,
you know,
have
it
come
ain't
in a
your
few times
dogs.
during the podcast, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you saying what we said is bullshit because your dogs didn't warn you?
No. I'm not saying it's bullshit. I'm just saying I'm
well,
okay.
and I mean, it wasn't anything that was
We're
like
not okay,
it
motherfucker.
gave a feeling. So I can
Yeah.
see why your dog came in a couple times and just like walked around the room because it was like,
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, shit.
I know spirits kind of like get attached to people differently. And
Mhm.
I know it attaches to Steven differently, you know what I mean? And
Oh yeah.
and I know it attaches to me differently. And I guess most of my ghost encounters have been, or the other side of the the world has been based off of my mother, may she rest in peace, and what she was able to do with ghosts, you name it. She had a very strong
Her
connection.
abilities.
She could move things by looking at it, whatever you call it. She can tell you your future, your past, and present without using any. She didn't need cards,
Yeah.
but she would use regular cards for your comfort.
Mhm.
And so far, she hasn't been wrong about my life, unfortunately.
No, she is wrong because there was a big part of what she said.
She's calling bullshit.
There
on
was
you,
a huge
Steven.
part. There was a huge part of what she said that is not going to come true.
I hope not.
Yeah, and it's not. So I don't know if you know this or not, but she's not from America. She's from Iran. Mel's from Iran. So she grew up completely different side of the world, and she's experienced things, like with her
A
mom.
whole totally different culture.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that her culture, her Persian culture is literally the biggest impact on
Very, very.
civilization,
Mhm.
Spartans still kick their ass.
So here's an interesting thing. Like everybody thinks I'm Mexican. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am 98.9% Irish, German, French, English, Welsh, Dutch, and Scottish.
Yeah.
I am 0.01% Kashik Egyptian and 0.01% Hindi Indian.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. And all of that mixed
So-
together looks Mexican.
looks Mexican.
Love
Um,
it.
so I have always been drawn to the North African, Iranian, Hindi culture. And I fully believe that everything within that created what we are today as a society
You hear
as
that,
far as
baby?
any kind of religion.
You hear that, baby? Is Rice training something? You hear that?
Shut your mouth.
I'm on her side.
No, I know that's
Cute.
fine, but still doesn't negate the fact that 300 Spartans fucking
It
whooped her
was
ass.
the
Fuck
move. Anyway, not gonna get into that.
Anyways, you only got that because we gave you the technology, okay?
We created fucking ships and shit. But
I mean,
but yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It
So
wasn't until 2 weeks ago we figured out how Rome actually created cement that lasted this long.
Yeah, and there's a lot of shit, you know. I mean, but that's kind of like cool that we are at that point now with technology that we can actually go back and see how some of these great things were fucking built. I'm
Yeah.
still wanting to know how the fuck they built the pyramids. That's still one of the
Mhm.
biggest fucking mysteries.
You can
They
tell
have
me it was
theories.
human labor, but it was not.
Oh, it's fucking aliens. Aliens did all that shit.
Shit,
So-
totally. I've never experienced aliens, but I fully believe in them.
So if you look, and I saw this TikTok and I was like, this is bullshit. This is such a bullshit TikTok. He's talking in there and he's saying that if you look at the Earth's equator and you
Mhm.
follow that equator, if you follow the equator throughout history, every single fucking huge civilization has on the equator has giant temples,
Mhm.
huge fucking buildings, fucking what are they called? Not pillars. Oh my god, the monoliths, like huge monoliths created exactly almost in the exact same spots on the equator. How did they
It
know to
is
do that?
literally a point.
And they're all civilizations that existed at different times
Mhm.
throughout history. So how the fuck did they know that's where they're gonna fucking build?
The Nazca's lines are one of my favorite things to debate with people. Like, how could you plot out something that is over the course of 20 miles that you can't see from the ground while you're building, but know that it's going to end up exactly in this formation?
Yeah, yeah. And there's also, I think it's in Peru. I believe it's in Peru. I could be wrong. Well, I know that's where the Nazca lines are, right?
Mhm.
In Peru. So, but there's,
yeah.
where is, oh, it's somewhere in South America. There is a temple, and it's literally all that's left of it is a fucking wall.
Mhm.
But this wall is put together so well that they said it would take lasers to fucking cut these stones the way these stones are. They don't know who put this wall together, why this wall fucking exists, but the stones are so closely fucking put together that it would have to be
You
laser
can't
accuracy.
dismantle it. Yeah. One of my favorite things, I have Discovery Plus. I've paid for it since the pandemic happened. But Josh Gates on his destination exploration and any of the shows that he does, this man, I loved him on Sci-Fi when he was hallucinating because of lack of oxygen and thought he saw a unicorn.
Oh, damn.
I have loved this man since then. But he is an archaeologist who decided that his passion in life was to make people laugh and learn about the haunted history of humanity. He goes and he has talked about using LiDAR in Amazon and some of Mongolia to find ancient civilizations and find the actual cities that they have. I absolutely love him because he is funny, he is down to earth, and he explains it to you as though you are sitting right here like the three of us are.
Yeah.
And he's hilarious. So he is one of those people that when I look at what that does, he's looked for the haunted, he's looked for the historical, he's looked for the supernatural, he has looked for what gives us that part of humanity that keeps us running from everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a modern day Indiana Jones, to put it point blankly.
Yeah,
and I love
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
However, I will say if you get Discovery Plus, watch the Back to the Future Marty McFly episodes that he does. They're hilarious. He donates they fully restore God, I
The
can't remember
DeLorean.
what the name. The DeLorean. They fully
Uh-huh.
restore a DeLorean and donate it to Michael J. Fox to auction off for
Oh,
Alzheimer's
that's good.
research
That's
Oh,
and
that's
awesome.
Parkinson's.
badass.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
so and he presents it as a way that you learn about the history, but you also learn about the supernatural and the superstitions and everything that goes around with all of what is there that he's looking for. He
Yeah.
does a huge thing on Genghis Khan. He's done everything on the cenotes in Mexico. He's done Istanbul. He's got like 8 seasons out, and it's just great because he presents it so well. I mean, and I don't plug him because, you know, he is cute. I'll give him that. But he's always been so amazing at what he does and making me feel like I'm actually there
Yeah.
and learning right with him. And he's great. He just really is.
That's awesome.
So in the
Mhm.
chat, real quick,
Yeah,
Brody
that-
Brody put, imagine if a ghost could sleep or dream.
That would
What
be
would they dream
great.
about? What would they dream about? That'd be
Well, I
weird.
still think we are the ghost in their living world.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
a firm
yeah,
believer
yeah.
in that.
So way before the movie The Others, that's how I used to think. Have you ever seen the movie The Others? I doubt you've seen
Mhm.
it.
No.
I've seen it.
Mel hasn't seen a lot of stuff. So in the movie The
Trying to
Others,
catch up. There's so
no, I
many.
know. But
And it
in the
keeps getting
movie,
You and I are
bigger.
going to start having Skype dates and just watching movies together.
There's so many.
so I'm totally about to ruin the movie for you, and it's such a great twist in the movie. But
Okay.
so in the movie The Others, you meet this family. It's like a Victorian age family, and they are experiencing all this crazy like haunting shit that's going on, right? And there's talk about how previously there was like a family that lived there and they died, this and that. All this crazy shit's happening, all this ghost shit's happening, all these things are moving around, crazy shit's you come to find out that the family we've been watching, they're the fucking
Is
ghosts.
yeah.
And so
It's kind of like a
everything that
Sixth
has
Sense.
been yeah, so everything that's
Oh,
been
shit.
happening, all this paranormal activity that they've been experiencing is us doing our thing in the house.
And just
You
live
really
it.
did in the movie. God damn.
I'm sorry, but it's I mean you'll still watch it and you'll still enjoy it. It's
mean,
a
I
great
am.
fucking movie.
Mhm.
I am.
But yeah, I mean
Because
that's
even
I mean
knowing
and
it still gives you that ending that you're looking for.
Yeah.
I mean too, you got to think too, who's to say that everything doesn't exist all at the same time, all at one time? We don't know. You know,
We
the
don't.
past could be happening at the same time as the present and the future.
Yeah.
So all of these things that we feel are ghosts and all these residual hauntings and things that occur could just be their life, them living their fucking life at that point in time, and there's just an intersection at that point in time. And that's why you don't get paranormal activity 24/7, because
Mhm.
certain things have to line up for there to be activity,
Mhm.
you know?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely linear haunting. You know, you have a moment in time that is an important moment that is
Yeah.
going to create a haunting. It's not
Mhm.
going to happen every day that you're there, but it's
Yeah.
going to happen on that specific point in time.
So
Yeah.
one time, and I feel like, and I always have this thought in my head too. What if life as we're living is just us living our life in our minds as we die? Because you know how they say your life flashes before your eyes. So what if this is life flashing before our eyes? And then it's just on a constant loop, constant loop, constant loop.
But that's
So
been scientifically proven. The
what?
light.
No, I
The
know, but
light.
I'm saying no. What I'm saying is, so when one time I was like, hey, I was still in high school, and my dad and I are in the living room, and I'm playing fucking Final Fantasy 8, and my dad's watching me play, and we hear a fucking knock on the door, right? Loud as fuck. We hear just like that. My
Mhm.
dad jumps up thinking it's one of his friends. What's going on, Jacob? How's it going, buddy? Um, he thinks it's one of his friends, so he jumps up, opens the front, turns the porch light on, opens the front door. Nobody's standing on the porch. Nobody's there. So our dog's in the backyard. His name was Pee Wee. He was in the backyard. And I was like, I bet you it was Juan, which is one of my dad's friends. And I was like, I bet you it was Juan. I bet you he's just trying to fucking scare us. I was like, I'll go the back door, you go the front door. So I walk out the back door with the broom because if this motherfucker scares me, I'm gonna fucking hit him, right? We walk outside, and as soon as I walk outside, my dog is barking, and I'm like, "Shut up, Pee Wee." We walk around, nothing. Now at the time, I had a Dodge Ram Charger SUV, and it was parked in the parking lot. And it was my grandma's car and then my car. Walk around the cars, nothing. We used to have a sliding gate in the front. Gate was closed. Looked at the gate in the back. Gate was closed. Pee Wee was barking because he saw us out there, and we went back inside, and we're like, "What the fuck?" And we're sitting there, and I'm playing my game, and I pause it, and I'm like, "Dad, if somebody would have opened the gate, Pee Wee would have started barking like right away. Like, and he
Yeah.
was not barking when you opened the door." And he was like, "Oh shit." And I'm like, "Yeah, what the fuck?" So in my mind, I'm like, what if that was just another point in time where somebody was knocking on the door?
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? And we just happened to cross into that part of time where we're living ours, but somebody else was coming over, and it just happened to fucking cross paths at the time. And I know another time at my grandma's house, we're sitting, it's me and my brother. We used to have the windows open all the time. So my brother's sitting by the window in my room. I'm sitting next to him, and I'm playing Resident Evil. And we hear clear as fucking day, "Eric," just like that. "Eric." And he looks at me, and I look at him, and you could tell he was scared. And I was like, "Haha, Dad, you can't scare us." And we didn't hear shit. And so I kind of try to look out the window. There's nobody there. So I walk on the front porch, and I look over, and nobody was out there. And then my dad pulls up. He just got home from work. So I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, we heard somebody's fucking voice. So
Yeah.
I start thinking later on in life, and I'm like, maybe it was Dad, you know, we're going through his time flashes, your life
Mhm.
flashes before your eyes when you pass. And that was just a crossing point where he was able to make contact or some shit. So I don't know. There's just so much unknown that
Crazy.
we don't know about spirits and ghosts. And that's why I have such a passion for this. Like I said, I have all these haunted items. I don't feel anything negative about them.
Oh, we do.
Same
And
passion again.
We got it.
Okay, so do you know that I collect serial killer memorabilia?
I do know that about you.
So I've got a lot of that stuff. I've got about 25 pieces. And they're all in my witchy room. I have so much obsidian, selenite, everything lining that shelf, and they
Yeah.
are up above everything. But one of the nice things is that they are, I mean, the biggest piece I have is about this big of anybody's
Yeah.
stuff. But I've also taken absolute precautions to make sure that nothing happens when I bring that stuff in, because I've got everything from well-known to I've got sand from the beach where Lisk happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what all happened there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have obsidian in there. I have selenite in there. I have black salt in there. Of course, there's holy water in there, which
Yep.
I was raised Catholic,
Mhm.
which really turned me off to religion, but I still do believe in some of their practices. You know what I mean? So I do
Same.
believe holy water works.
Oh yeah.
So I do have all of that kind of protection in there. I do
Mhm.
have, there's a fucking big ass Bible up there also that is just there for protection, because I believe all sorts of different things, because I was raised one way, but I've also studied different things that my culture says you shouldn't study that, but I did for protection purposes. You know what I mean? So
You
I
would
feel,
technically, in the pagan sense of the community, be considered an eclectic, because you pick and choose what is needed for you
yes,
personally to be able to practice what you do.
yeah. And
And
I totally
that's
believe
totally
in,
believed in all practices.
yeah, and I totally believe in protection with stones and bracelets and all of that, obsidian specifically, and selenite. Like, I always have that on me. I always have sage. I have Palo Santo. Like I use all of that for protection when I feel I need it. Now,
Mhm.
you have, but this is what I tell people also, especially when I'm doing a cleansing. It may not always work because you have to
No.
remember, just like we have our beliefs, spirits also had beliefs of their own at one point in time. So who's to say that you get a priest to come and bless your house that it's going to run a Native American spirit away? They don't
Exactly.
believe in that. They did not believe in that. So that may not work. So you come in with sage. Sage may work in some cases where holy water isn't going to work. So you have to
Mhm.
be very knowledgeable, and that's what pisses me off about some people when they do cleansings is they go, they do the cleansing, and they don't do it properly. They don't, all the windows are closed, the doors are closed, and I'm like, okay, you're trying to get rid of this energy. Where the fuck do you want it to go if you don't have your windows open,
Exactly.
honey?
What's its escape route?
Exactly.
I'm trying
So
It
to find
doesn't
they,
have
they
one.
cleansed. So they cleansed their old apartment, and I'm like, well, did
Look,
you have the windows
hold
open?
on.
Did
Your
you
friend
hold on?
called
Wait,
it
wait,
out.
wait, wait, wait. No, no,
I
no,
get
no. I'm
called
calling you
out.
out.
Time
I'm
out.
gonna take
Time
her
out.
side regardless.
No. Time
Just so
out.
you know.
Look. This whole cleansing, this whole sage. Us Iranians, we have our own thing, right? You guys have your
Right.
own thing. This was Sonia doing it. Now, like, look, I'll stand by you. Let's do whatever you research, okay? This is what you know, right? Let's just go with it. And I get it. You guys have your Bibles, your holy water. I don't got that. Like for me, what helps me is building a wall internally. And I'm afraid to put that down. If I put that down and I know shit's gonna go loose. Like,
Yeah.
whoo, my internal sense is my little savior. So I love listening to like different ways of protecting yourself. I think it's fantastic. It don't work for me, but I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. So go ahead and call me out, babe.
Right.
So they do a cleansing. I'm like, did you have your
No.
windows open? Did you have your doors open? Did you have the fucking cabinets open so that nothing can hide in the fucking cabinets? And they're like, no. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, where do you expect this stuff to go? It's not just gonna fucking
But
disappear.
look,
Like,
here's my thing
But
though.
that's
Like
the
if
thing
you
too,
tell
is
me
like
if you tell me if you fucking jump 20 times, it gets rid of all the ghosts in your house, I'm gonna fucking do it. I don't know any better. This is above my knowledge scale. Like you tell me to fucking lick your fucking bottom of your fucking feet and do this. Okay, you say it works, done. Let's go with it. So
that's disgusting.
I don't fucking know. I'm just saying it's above my knowledge scale. Like I
and the
know my
most powerful
things are
belief.
weird.
Yeah, and the most powerful thing in these cleansing rituals is your belief in
Your
them.
belief, yeah. Yeah.
So like I know that I have to have my doors open. I have to yell at them because my family was taught that we aggressively deal with spirits. Not the best way to approach things all the time, but that's what we do.
So Brody,
Um,
just asked, is it an incubus where you can get pregnant by a ghost?
I don't know, but that's what I thought when I first had my period. I thought I was pregnant by the Holy Ghost.
Fuck.
Sorry. We don't talk about this shit. It was crazy. And they're trying to explain to me what it was, and I don't speak English. And I'm like, I'm pregnant by the ghost. That's what it is.
So
I don't know
just
that
for
you can.
definition,
I don't think
an
you can get
incubus
pregnant.
is a male. So if you are a male visited by an incubus, there's a whole nother situation we need to talk about.
Yeah.
A succubus is the female version. So
Yeah.
a female succubus, or that cannot get you pregnant, but you can get her pregnant. A male, if you are a female, can get you pregnant. Just to allow some clarification.
There you go, Brody. So yes, you can get pregnant by an incubus if you are a female.
Yes.
Yes.
There are two separate genders of the physical sex demon,
Good to know.
as far as I know.
Pretty sure there's a lot more.
Welcome to your witchy sex therapist.
I'm gonna have to have you on again to where we just do a fucking episode of just you just telling us what is what.
I
Witchy
feel like I'm taking notes over here. I'm all like, and then what?
Continue.
Please elaborate.
Yes. So my wall does not work. Is that what you're saying? I need something else.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing though. Like I said earlier,
She's
at all the
laughing.
stuff-
She says it
No,
doesn't.
but no. But here's the thing. In a sense, it does, because look at what the kids have experienced here at this house. I haven't experienced any of that. But
Yeah.
why? Because I ignore it, because I have a wall up, because I don't
Yeah.
want to know if there's anything here. Now, you did pull a prank on me, making me think the house was haunted before we
Yeah, that was
ever
great.
fucking moved in.
I can't
And it was a
post
great
but
fucking
it's great.
it was a great fucking prank. But turns out the fucking house was haunted when we fucking moved in. So
So I don't. Americans call this being an empath, right? I call it being
Mhm.
human. So
Well, yeah.
there's this thing you can do if you play with it, if you are in tune with the other side. Because I believe everybody has, the other side of abilities. They just don't.
Mhm. It's just a
dabble
matter
with
of
it.
how much you open up to them.
Exactly. So my thing is that when I put this wall down, this wall is my everything. I've worked hard building it, so since I was a kid. But once I put this wall down and I focus on people, and I love focusing on people, I become kind of a cunt, and I can dig
Kind of?
deep into who you are, your
kind of.
past, present, future,
shush.
and I learn to manipulate you from the inside out, and then get what I want. Like, I don't know what you call this. Dark empath.
It's called being a cunt. It's called being a cunt.
So that is reaching into your shadow abilities. There
you
is
go.
the light and dark side. Shadow is the things that necessarily the rest of humanity sees as not so great. You would be considered bossy, driven, boss lady, boss woman, those kind of stereotypes. Shush.
This is
You
if I
just
put the
shush,
wall
sir.
No.
Yeah.
I've seen the wall down. I've
And-
experienced the wall down.
And so
Not good.
that is simply
Yes, it's fine.
that is your driven personality. That is your
Yeah.
guides telling you this is the type of person that you are going to be. These are the goals that we are going to help you achieve. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that.
Yeah, but my thing goes, I don't even have to know you. Like a complete stranger. I can essentially tap into you, and like that, you can be stuck. I don't know what
And that's
it is,
not
but
necessarily a bad thing.
yeah.
That's just you being able to see humanity for what humanity is.
Yeah, it's just it's been my little dark secret for a while, for a long time, but for a long time. Sorry, I was just curious. But this wall, when it comes to spirits and ghosts and everything, I have put it down a couple of times, and it's opened up some floodgates I didn't like or want.
Yeah.
It has let me see things that I didn't need or want to see that were not of this world. This was since I was a kid. So I've noticed that it's my protector. You know what I mean? And I was telling Sonia when I was pregnant the first time I saw a black dog, and I felt like it was my protector. And I haven't seen anything since I've been pregnant now, and it kind of worries me. But
and to a black dog in English or American society is seen as something that is not necessarily a good thing. But for you, it is seen as a spirit guide. It's someone that is always there. You may not necessarily have seen him this pregnancy, but he's there. He's hiding in the background. He is watching from a distance.
A big one, kind of like a wolf size.
Oh yeah.
But
like I got the immediate image that like it stands about this tall, and I'm sitting in a chair right now. So it's about 4 foot off the floor.
Yep.
And that it shows there with you. And it's one of those things that is just going to be very behind the scenes now until it needs to come to full force.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. I'm going to dabble into you guys' Holy Spirit,
you're
water.
Sleeping at your house tonight.
Yeah, after you open that fucking cabinet, the fuck.
She's like, I'm gonna stay here with this invisible snuggle dog and just deal with it.
I got you. You're good.
You fucked me over. What do you mean you got me? You opened that shit up. Shit's been happening here. You're good over there. We're not good over here, baby.
Look, you're good. It's powered up. I got you, boo.
Well, you know what it is, though. Like, this is
Really?
something that you're used to, that you associate yourself with. This is where you keep your guard up. You got your protections. Like, you surround yourself with all these things. But having somebody else that's close to you and carrying your spawn, that's not surrounded by these things constantly. Guess what, baby? I'm an easier target. So is Sonia. We're an easier target than you are. And you were here last night. I'm
She's
just
got a
saying.
Oh, I was there last night. I was.
And
She's
this
got a
morning.
point.
So what I'm saying is, it's easier for him to hit us than it is to hit you.
This is true. This is true.
Mhm.
For the love of
Just keep
God,
your wall
keep
up.
that thing closed.
Just keep your wall up. You're good.
Just close
You're
the
good.
damn thing.
It's closed.
Okay.
It's closed.
Keep
It's
it
sealed. You're good.
He's like, shush, we're done with that.
Well, we've been doing this for an hour and a half, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Magnolia, thank you for being on. I
Thank you,
appreciate
You
you
are
Magnolia.
so
fucking coming
welcome.
on and talking to us. This was really fucking cool. I want to get you
Yeah,
back on.
definitely. Oh no, totally. Let me know sometime. I work Wednesday through Sundays, but Sundays I get off about 6 o'clock, and then Mondays and Tuesdays I don't work. But I also work at a haunted flea market. Just so
Fuck
you know.
yeah. Find me some
I had a
haunted stuff.
creepy Raggedy Ann doll come through the other day, and I wasn't paying attention when my coworker called out like what it was, and I turned and I look, and the eyes are scratched out.
Oh my.
Creepy Raggedy Ann doll is an accurate description for this item.
Let me know next time you get some creepy shit in, and I will cash app you to send it to me.
Dude.
Where are you? Where do you live?
So I am in Davenport, Iowa. I have lived here most of my life. I moved down to Corpus Christi with my boyfriend Ben, and Steven
Yeah.
knows him. We moved a week before Hurricane Harvey hit.
Oh wow. I heard you moving back tomorrow. That's true, right?
Dude, we are actually, one of our goals this year is we're saving all of our change, and we are going to come back down and spend Christmas down
Entire
in
life.
Texas
I agree.
next year.
You're gonna
Oh,
live
yeah.
here.
I
Yes.
mean, that too. Like, we are tired. We are supposed to get snow on Thursday, and they're talking anywhere from 0 to 21 inches. It's the Midwest. We'll find out.
Oh,
about this.
shit.
No,
Wow.
yes.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh,
So,
I love it.
but here's another thing. When we moved down there that year, it snowed for the first time in 13 years in Corpus.
It did. It fucking did.
Yeah.
I fucking miss the snow.
Yeah.
It was great. I almost
Girl,
cried when I saw it again.
I will send Facebook friend me. I will send you pictures of snow when we have it all the time.
Yes. Yes, yes,
No,
yes.
And I've got 3 dogs, 2 cats, so I will send you all the serotonin you need.
Fuck yeah.
So, do you have any socials that you want to plug before we go?
So I have Hazel's Hideaway. I have 2 different groups. If you look on there, one is a private group, and then one is my business page. Those are the 2 different witchy businesses that I do. And then I also have Cerberus and Co Crafting, which is my sarcastic home decor and kind of like t-shirt line. I've got a shirt coming out that says tatted and freezing for all of us who enjoy having colorful tattoos, but it's fucking cold. So, but I've got a bunch of that kind of stuff. And then I'm willing to help anybody that has any kind of paranormal experience find out a way to protect themselves, open themselves up more, see what they're able to do. So please feel free to hit me up. I'm friends with Scuba on Facebook with Magnolia May. Add me. I don't care. I will be happy to help anybody that's going through anything and wants some information on how to deal with it.
All right.
Hell
Honey,
yeah.
you have anything you want to plug?
Yes, follow me on OnlyFans. Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
Girl, I got you.
No,
That
follow
baby
me
needs
on-
clothes.
Yeah, on Twitch, which is the Smiling Octopus. TikTok, same thing, the Smiling Octopus, you name it. But my TikTok is mostly about what's going on in Iran. I'm going back to streaming starting tomorrow. What I used to do Mental Health Sundays. And I would say follow me on Instagram, but I'm not on that a lot. Other people don't add me on Facebook, but you can. Like my friend request is
No
already
problem.
maxed out. Can't do it no more. But yeah, you can do Discord. So that's that.
All right.
I'm
And
not
as
much on
always,
Discord, but I'll definitely add you.
Yes.
She's not much on Discord either. Her Discord is
Perfect. We're great
Right.
Discord friends.
gone silent for a while, but she's gonna get back to it. She's getting back to it tomorrow. So,
Yes.
and you guys know you can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Twitch at Lord_Scuba Cabra, on Facebook, Lord Steven Scuba Steve Vasquez. And as always, thank you for joining me on.
I'm sorry. What's
what?
happening tomorrow? You're doing something tomorrow, right?
Oh, tomorrow, join us on Gore and More podcast, where we are reviewing. So we decided this year we are going to review a movie series for the first time that we have not done yet. And we are starting with Friday the 13th. And we are doing the very first Friday the 13th movie tomorrow. So you guys be sure to tune into that on right here on Project Louder, Gore and More podcast, where we give you our thoughts on the very first Friday the 13th. And every month we'll be bringing you another episode of Friday the 13th series. So all the way, I think we're doing all the way up to Jason X. We're not going to do Freddy versus Jason because that's more of a
Standoff.
versus film. Yeah, it's a one-off, so we're not going to do that one. But as always, I am your host with the ghost, the prince of the paranormal, the duke of the dead, the one, the only Lord Scuba Cabra, saying, stay spooky, baby.